Hey everybody, it's Liz from Northern Bell Farms. I don't really know what to do to get the top of my head and the counter with my phone facing this way, so I guess this is what you get. So today I'm gonna make some homemade pasta. It's one of our favorites. I really don't like box noodles ever since I started making homemade pasta. Box noodles to me now taste like cardboard. And pasta's really easy to make. Even if you don't have a machine, I'll show you how to do it. I'm gonna do it by hand, and then I'll do it in the mixer, and then I'll cut it by hand, and roll it by hand, and then I will put the attachments on the KitchenAid and also do it that way, because I do have the attachments for the KitchenAid, which are really expensive actually. Like the whole noodle rolling set thingy I think was like $200 for these attachments that do the noodles, and then they have the name of the noodle in the middle. But there's 6 of those, and then it has a spaghetti cutter and one for rolling just flat sheets. So you can either hand cut it then, or you can press them together and make tortellinis, raviolis, stuffed pastas like that. So I guess let's get into it. I use 00 flour. You can also use semolina. They are a very fine powder, ground down to be really light. You can use all-purpose flour if that's all you have. It's a little more dense, and tastes a little more like dumplings than actual noodles, because it is so much thicker. But we use the 00 flour, and then you're gonna need 5 eggs, and salt. I would say maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I don't really measure, I just crack the salt grinder. And if it's too dry, tablespoons of water until it's wet enough to hold together. I'll show you. Let's get a cup. We need 2 cups of flour. I ordered this, my mom ordered this flour from Amazon a while back. It came in a case of 4, I think, for like 30 bucks. That's 2 cups. So that is a single batch. We're gonna make a double. So we'll go with 4 cups. My kids have been fighting a lot lately. Okay, so here's 4 cups of flour, which is the double recipe, and then we just mound it up on the counter in a pile, and then we make a little well in the middle, like you're making a bird nest. There we go. So it's like a dish or a nest. And then these are the eggs I just collected this morning. I'm gonna use duck eggs until they're out. I got 9 duck eggs this morning. That's actually a lot. And it is 5 eggs per batch, and we're doing a double batch, so we need 10 eggs. But you know, duck eggs are 2 chicken eggs, so that's 2. Duck eggs are really hard. 4, 6, 8, 10. And we're gonna add 1 chicken egg just because the baby ducks have been laying, so their eggs are a little smaller than a regular duck egg would be. So now we have all that there, and you can use your hands, but it gets awful messy real quick. Or you can grab a fork, and you want to whisk up your eggs in the middle of your pile, like you're making scrambled eggs. Ooh, don't jump out. Oh, you want to make sure your counter's really clean. I have double cleaned it. I cleaned my counter with a disinfectant wipe, and then I let it dry for a little while, and then I got a paper towel with soap and water, and I wiped it down, and then I just wiped it down with a kitchen cloth after that. A clean kitchen cloth. That's something I learned from working in restaurants. You don't use the same kitchen cloth for days. You get a new one every day. And then you slowly pull in some of the flour from the side as you're mixing.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, baby.
What's that?
It is Noodles. Thanks for waking up the baby. That should be good. He's crying in the back of my video. We're going to put some salt in here. Quarter teaspoon about. As you stir in the flour, you'll notice it getting thicker and thicker and thicker. It's okay, Odin Pie.
Can I watch you?
It's almost time to use hands. Yeah. I always have a dough scraper on hand because it is one of the easiest things to get the dough once it starts getting sticky. We're going to get a little water too. Usually it's about up to 5 tablespoons of water you may need. I guess it all depends on, baking always depends on elevation and stuff like that. We're sea level. I don't know if that actually matters unless it's like rising and stuff, and we're always very humid, so. Love you, family. You should have shirts on in my videos. Or a dress.
I got a shirt.
Okay.
I know how to put them on my shirt.
You want to knead your dough. I'm also going to show you how you can add other things to your dough. You could add lots of other things, actually. We're going to do a spinach one with some Melbar spinach from the garden. We're also going to do a tomato one with some tomato paste. There's a whole bunch. You could do mushrooms. You could do herbs. You can add anything you want really into the dough. Oh, you could do beets. I've seen people use purple cabbage for a beautiful color. Dough gets really, really hard. And I think I just made it a little too sticky. If it's too sticky, you add more flour. And if it's dry and crumbly, you add more water. And it's just really about the dough. You want a dough that's not too sticky and not too crumbly. Okay, well, you're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm in the middle of a video. Okay, so you have your dough. And it is all tense and pulling in on itself. So it's like really hard. And now you want to let it rest for at least half an hour. So you have to cover it. So you take saran wrap and you tightly wrap it. Go over. Now we're going to let it sit on the counter for half an hour. Then we'll come back and we will, since it's a double recipe, we'll break it in half. Then we'll take each half and we'll break it either into thirds or quarters. And we'll roll some out by hand and we'll attach the KitchenAid mixer and we'll make some actual noodles. So we'll have like a fettuccine and then we'll choose some of the other ones. And then I will make another dough and show you how to add vegetables for color, noodles, and to up the vitamins and minerals and nutrition into your pasta. So, I did. I'm done for a minute. Well, now I gotta make some. Yeah. Now that I have gone to my closet and eaten not one but 2 full-size candy bars, I'm good. And I'm making a second double batch. This time we'll do the spinach. It's the middle of summer, so we don't have any spinach, regular spinach, but we have Malabar spinach, which actually I guess isn't a spinach, but don't really know where it's going with that. It's not really a spinach, but that's what we're using. It's got a lot of health benefits. I'll have to look them up, but so that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. More eggs in this one because I ran out of the duck eggs. So those were all the chicken eggs from this morning. My chickens like to lay in the morning, but around they lay from 9 till noon, and then a few finish up around 1 and 2, but nobody really lays after 3 o'clock. So we will stir up this. Again, whisking the eggs like we're making scrambled eggs. Try not to whisk them out of your little flour bowl. Make the bowl a little wider in the whisking so that some of the flour falls in. Okay, now before it gets too floury, I picked this Malabar spinach. I just picked it. I rinsed it in the sink, washed it. Now we're gonna take our little food processor. My mama left this for me. Oh, I stored some dried peppers in it, so it has a silica packet in it. Take that out. So we will, such a short cord. Okay, barely reaches and you can't see what I'm doing. Good thing I'm only putting, there we go. In my new house, I'm going to have abundant counter space and a giant kitchen island when we build it in Tennessee. gonna be great for cooking. Okay, so we'll shove that full. I got a little bit left. We'll see how much this breaks down. Put it on. Put it on right. Lock the lid. Then we'll go with cup. Okay, now let's throw the rest of it in there. Smells really green. Oh, smells like my body craves it now, especially after eating all that chocolate. Naughty, naughty. You want to grind it up real good. We probably should have left out one egg because this is probably more liquidy. But actually, it's kind of gummy. Either way, probably still should have left out an egg. Okay, now we're going to want to add, we'll add half of our mixture. It looks like 4 tablespoons at the moment. Oh, look how pretty green that is. Oh, and it's so good for you. Last year, I had heard about it, but not like a lot. And then someone who used to live down here who moved back up north, Brian, was like, hey, have you heard of this? It's got tons of health benefits and I think you'd really like it. And I was like, yeah, I've heard of it, but I didn't know all that. So he told me about it, and I decided that this year I should at least try and grow it. Now, when you eat it plain, it's like when you if you rubbed it on your teeth, it'd be like, ew, 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 ew. It's like really plasticky feeling, and it's just, I'm a texture person, so I don't really enjoy that. That part is no bueno. I'm trying to decide if I should add the rest of this spinach, and then just add more flour if I need to, but it's almost hand folding time, so if I'm gonna add it, I need to add it now. I guess I'll just do a little bit more, because I don't feel like I want to waste it, but there. Another 2 tablespoons. So that makes 6 tablespoons, so that's probably definitely enough liquidiness and wetness. I don't know if I said I never flavored pasta before. I mean, I get the gist, and I know this is how you do it, but I've never done it before, so I don't know how it turns out or what the right ratios of things are. I just know that I want to try, because these things from my garden could easily, in the fall, we'll make beet pasta, we'll make pumpkin pasta, hopefully. I have somebody else who's going to help me try and grow pumpkins on her farm, Bradbury Farms. Her name's Deanna. I really like her a lot. She's a sweetheart. She's going to try and grow pumpkins too, as well as me. So hopefully, between the two of us, we should get something. What, honey?
Can you take this off so I can help?
Yep, give me 1 second. I got sticky pasta hands. So as soon as I make this into a ball, I can wash my hands off.
Yeah, and then can I help again?
Yeah, you can help when we run it through the pasta maker.
Pasta maker?
Mm-hmm.
What's that? What's a pasta maker?
The thing that cuts it up into noodle shapes.
Okay. I'll help with that.
This is very sticky since I added all that extra liquid. So we probably really are going to need some extra flour because it is all over my hands. What, honey? Hang on. This is very, very, very sticky.
It's okay if I take a little sip of this. Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks. I know I want to do this. What is this?
Those are that's tomato paste. We're gonna put that one in the next one.
And the next one.
Yep, leave it over there. Okay, so here is our Malabar spinach.
There you go. Is it ball now?
Yep, now we gotta let it rest for half an hour. We gotta cover it so it doesn't crack and dry out too much.
I like it. It's beautiful.
Isn't it pretty?
Uh-huh.
Wish our shiitakes were ready so we could make a mushroom and herb one. That sounds good too.
Yeah, let's make more.
And then this way you can, then you can cook in boiling water the same way you'd cook box pasta. You want to salt your water very liberally. It just makes more flavor for the actual pasta. And my recommendation when you make the flavored pastas is you want to enjoy that flavor. You don't want to cover it up with spaghetti sauce. That's for the regular one. If you want just a regular one and spaghetti sauce and make some homemade meatballs or throw some chicken on there or chicken marsala or just mac and cheese made out with a bechamel. Plain noodles, awesome. I guess you could bechamel the vegetable ones because who doesn't like vegetables and cheese? But my recommendation for the vegetable ones is if you take, after you cook it for a few minutes in the boiling water, when it floats it's done, so it takes 2, 3, 5 minutes maybe at the most, from depending on what the size and how many noodles you're cooking. But if you take a pan and put some butter in it, maybe like a quarter or a half a stick, depending on how much you're cooking for. If you're cooking for a big family, you probably want half a stick. If it's just a couple of you, 2 or 3 of you, you probably want a quarter of a stick. You want to melt the butter and get it so that it's like just starts to turn brown, but you don't want it to burn. You just want it to just start to turn brown. That gives it this nutty flavor, and then you can throw a couple sage leaves in there and get them to crisp up. It takes 30 seconds. They'll crisp up and fry up and be like these little crunchy leaves. And then you toss your pasta in the brown butter sauce real quick. Take it out, salt it, pepper it if you'll enjoy it with salt and pepper, and then eat it that way. You could sprinkle it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano. Delicious. That's how I do it. Ways you can make the pasta. Now that we've let it rest for about 20 minutes, half an hour, to work with it, you want it in smaller batches. So since we did a double batch, we're definitely going to break it in half first so that they're about the same. So that's one batch, this is one batch. Then we'll break them in half and probably in half again. So break single batches into quarters. And then this one in half and in half. We're going to put it back in the saran wrap while we work, so it doesn't dry out. We're just going to lightly cover it so it doesn't get all dry. Then we need a rolling pin, which I guess I should have done first, huh? Okay.
Done.
Take a big one. We're going to flour the surface.
I can't turn it up.
Careful, please, honey. Okay, and then we're going to flatten this out like we're making a pizza dough. Kind of flatten it out a little bit with our fingers. And then we're going to roll it. we want to roll it so that it's like a 1/4 of an inch thick or so. The problem with rolling the dough is that it pulls back on itself, so it's kind of harder to roll.
There's a piece of baby. There's a piece of pie.
That's why the pasta roller on the KitchenAid attachment. Okay. That's why the pasta roller on the KitchenAid attachment is easier, because it'll push it through and you just keep pushing it through. We'll roll it out basically as good as we can get it. We'll do that, flip it over, roll it the other way, push down really hard. Okay, then you want to take it and you want to like fold it like an accordion kind of. So you have it flat, and then you want to fold it like one side, then back. I don't know if that makes any sense. Your knife and you want to cut. This is like a fettuccine. So that they're like this.
I eat noodles.
See, so it's like a flat fettuccine.
I eat that noodles. I eat noodles. Mommy, I eat that noodles.
Now, these ones, since they're hand rolled, are going to be a little bit thicker, a little bit denser. You take a big cutting board or some kind of baking pan, baking sheet. You could probably even use, look, got flour in my mouth. You could probably even use a piece of cardboard if you want, but you flour it, and then you're going to want to take your noodles and lay them in a flat. Or if they're the longer spaghetti noodles, you want to make them into a nest, but I'll show you that in a minute. Is with the KitchenAid. There are attachments. The girls for the noodles have picked out spaghetti and macaroni, large macaroni, not the small macaroni. This piece has a little spinny cork piece in it. It looks like this. You put the pasta in the top here. You take little round dough balls the size of walnuts and you push them through. There's a round piece that you push into it in here, and this pulls it and pushes it out the bottom, where you attach your pieces, whichever kind of macaroni or spaghetti. I think there's one called fusilli or bucatelli or something like that. So okay, so take your attachment piece, spaghetti, put it on, screw this back on, and then this is for cutting the noodles when they get to the length that you want. This metal piece goes into here. You make sure that this screw is all the way open. Then you put this on and you tighten it. But first, oh, no. You tighten it. Okay, so we have that. Now, here is the little food pusher piece. It's got this little hook for cleaning out dough when it gets stuck in there. This piece is for pushing it in here. So now I will show you. You got to turn it. You got to make sure it's locked. And then you want to turn it on, and you got to turn it on to the full speed. So you probably won't be able to hear me when I'm saying things. But these are way too big. It'll make it work way too hard. They need to be about the size of walnuts. Like this big. So we could probably make 3 or 4. We'll do 4. 4 little balls out of the quarters that we moved. So I'm going to move this to the edge of the counter too, so we can have a little bit longer of a noodle. I love you too, honey.
I love you again. Then I'm gonna have macaroni.
Yes, we'll do macaroni in a minute. We gotta turn it all the way back on.